Assalamu alaikum students. Hope all of you are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am Saida Sultana, your science teacher, welcoming you to our today's science class. Today I will discuss about the important classification of matter, which is according to the density and different properties, and these are metals and non-metals. Actually, metals and non-metals both are elements. That means this is the classification of elements. And now we have to know about, I will discuss about the mainly physical properties of metals and non-metals. Okay, and now what is metals? A metal is an element, and this is important, an element. Okay, a metal is an element that is shiny, malleable, ductile, and conducts electricity and heat. That means these are the properties of any metal. They will be shiny, malleable, and ductile, and conducts electricity and heat. And based on these their properties, they are used for many purposes. Look at these pictures. These are two widely used metals. This is the sodium. This is the sodium, and this is the picture of copper. Copper and sodium is very popular, widely used metals, and from their texture you can easily observe that these are and their surface are very shiny. They are very shiny substance, and after a few moments we know about the malleability and ductility, and then this will be clear to you. Okay, and using this properties, metals can be used for different purposes. Here you can see some pictures. They are a good conductor of heat and electricity. That's why they are widely used to prepare electric wires, and they can conduct heat. That's why they can and used to prepare cooking utensils, and they can be converted into a very thin foil, and that's why, and also some metals like silver, they have the germ protecting power, and that's why they are used to protect our covering our food items. Okay, and next we will try to understand their properties. The first properties is malleability. Malleability is the property of metals. It is the special property of metals. Okay, is this property of metals which allows it to be hammered into thin sheets without breaking. Okay, this is the very special unique property of metals, which allows it to be hammered into thin sheets without breaking, and most metals can be hammered into thin sheets or foils, okay, without breaking. And you can see these foils. These are there are silver and gold foils. Okay, they are metal, uh, and this is the aluminum foil. You have very this is very popular to preserve our food, okay, and carry our food. And these two foils, and look at this animated picture. This picture show you the process, uh, and here we can easily observe that a piece of metal, okay, a metal bar is pressed and it easily converted to a thin sheet without breaking. Okay, and next one is this from this animated picture you can see that here the gold foil is prepared by pressing them. Okay, that means this is the very important properties of metals. Okay, then the next one is ductility, and ductility is the property of metal. This is also the special property of metal which allows it to be stretched in a thin wares. Okay, into thin wares. Look at this process. Okay, here a metallic rod, a metallic thick rod is stretched into thin wares without breaking, and these thin wares are prepared by this process. Okay, and as a conductor as the in different electrical device we need fine and thin wires, and this is prepared by this way on the basis of these properties of metals, and very popular copper wires for electric device, aluminum wires, and gold wires also. Okay, and now, the next important properties of metals are thermal conductivity of metals. The metals are good conductors of heat, and when we keep them on fire, they get heat. All metals like aluminum, iron, zinc, etc. show this property. And the we observe, I will show you the thermal conductivity of metal experimentally with a experiment. Okay, and this is the arrangement of experiment, and for this experiment we need to thick copper wires, and two pieces of cork, and safety matches and candles. Okay, candles. Then the procedure will be, at first we have to insert the copper wires carefully through the cork. Okay, this is the cork, the copper wire carefully through the cork so that the cork remains in the middle of the wire. And why here, what is the reason of using cork, can you guess? And it is used because the heat from the flame could not reach directly to the hand. Okay, this is the precaution. Okay, and now hold lit the candle, and now holding one end of the wire, and place its other end on the candle flame. Okay, this end you have to hold, and this is the other end on the candle flame, and in this way hold the wire until your hand does not feel warm or hot. Okay, and after some times your hand can feel the warmth. Okay, and why this is happened? Okay, one end of the wire receives, this is happened because one end of the wire receives the heat from the flame. Okay, and it travels to other end because copper is a good conductor. From this end the heat travels to other end, and we can feel the warmth. Okay, and look at this animated picture. You can here see this is the Bunsen burner, and this is the metallic rod. From this end heat is transferred, travels to that ends. Okay, and this is the way to carry the heat from one end to another end through a metallic rod. Okay, and this happens because they are good conductor of heat. By this reaction it is proved that the copper wire, which is the uh, metal, is a good thermal conductor. But all metals conduct heat. But uh, some solids cannot conduct heat, and that is why metals are used where thermal conduction is essential. Okay, and we can see this picture here, cooking utensil. We can see the cooking utensil which is made by metals. Okay, here from the fire heat is transferred into the metal utensil, and since the handle of the metal utensils are not covered by any insulator or non-conductor materials, that's why the hand can't feel the warmth. Okay, and next, this here there are two rods are present. One is made up of metal, this is metallic rod, and one is made up of glass. And can you tell me which rods burn the hands first? I Okay, and to clear this concept, in that from this picture you can observe this: the metal rod burn the hand first. Okay, and that's why we can say metals are good conductor than glasses. Okay, and glass are not pure metal. This is made by this is a combination of different compounds. Okay, and now uh, we I am going to show you a simple experiment, and we are going to learn how different types of materials conduct heat. Okay, and at first, Uh, we are going to take a small glass bowl, and inside it we are going to place three spoons. One spoon that's made of wood, one spoon made of metal, and one spoon made of plastic. Okay, and then we are going to take a soft butter. Okay, soft butter, and we are going to place it on the top of each of the spoon. Okay, look at these pictures, you can easily observe that. Okay, and so once we have to we have the butter on the spoons, we are going to put a bead. Okay, put a bead in the butter on each of the spoons. Okay, we are going to put a bead in the soft butter on each of the spoons, and now ensure that the three spoons are all lying evenly. And now it's time to move for the next step. We are going to take some hot boiling water. Okay, we are going to take some hot boiling water and slowly pour it into the bowl. Okay, and now the next step, we want to make sure that the spoons do not fall into the water. This is our precaution. Okay, and once we have the water in the bowl, we have to wait, and we are going to watch to see what happens. Okay, and now look at these two pictures. Okay, and you can see these pictures, the position of the bead, and in the next picture the position of the bead. Okay, look at these positions of the beads. Okay, and mm, can you tell me why did the bead move down the spoon that was made out of metal? This spoon is made up of metals. Okay, and other two spoons, look at these two spoons. um, it stayed at the top of the spoons that were made of wood and plastic. Okay, and this is because the metals are good conductor of heat. Okay, and heat from the hot water in the bowl reaches the butter of metal spoon comparatively faster through conduction. Okay, and as a result, butter melts down and the bead is moved down. And this conduction is happened in metal much faster than plastic and wood. Okay, and that's why, and uh, the conducting power of heat, the conduction of heat, and the rate of conduction of heat is very slow for wood and plastic. They are very poor conductor. That's why the butter stayed at the top of the spoons that were made out of wood and plastic. And from this experiment we can easily compare the thermal conductivity of different matters. And the next is, now I will explain to this fact, this conduction, this conductivity of metals at a particle level. Okay, at a molecular atomic level. And then look at this animated picture. This is the this represents a metal rod. Okay, the structure of metal rod. Okay, and in this picture you can see these balls. Okay, these round larger balls are shows you the metal ions, that means metals, pure metallic atoms. Okay, and these blue movable speedy movable particles show you the electrons. And these electrons are in metal. This is the speciality of metal, this is the properties of metal. Metals have free electrons. Okay, metals have free electrons in it, and these free electrons are always movable. Okay, and uh, uh, that's why you when we heat the metals, then when we heat an end of a piece of metal, this end. Okay, and you will find that the other end is also getting warm first, and it means metals are heat conductor. The reason is the free electrons, these high speedy movable free electrons. Okay, these mobile electrons, when heat is applied, these electrons receive energy, heat energy, and increase their velocity. That means increase their kinetic energy, and they rush from the heated end to our towards the comparatively cooler end. Okay, and thus heat is conducted in a metal. Okay, I think this is clear to you. Now the next is glass rod. Glass rod is a poor conductor. Okay, here they are not metal. Okay, and that's why here is only atoms, only molecules or atoms, tiny particles are present, but the free electrons are not available in the glass rod, and that's why their process are quite slow. They are conduct their heat energy and by the vibration of molecules, vibration of these particles. These particles, these particles, look at this picture. These particles at first gain the heat energy, then they vibrate. We know in solid atoms, in solid particles are closely packed. They cannot move, they cannot change their position, they can only vibrate. And that's why by vibration they can and exchange the heat from their neighboring particles, and this is the way to transfer heat. And that's why the heat travels very slowly in glass rods. The major differences in metal, in all metal rods, bars, and are in metals. Free electrons are available, which are responsible for heat conduction. And in glass rods or plastics or any non-metals, there are no free electrons, and that's why they cannot conduct uh, heat. Okay, and for this property, this is widely used for metals are widely used for preparing cooking utensil. Okay, and this is the, look at this picture. This is the utensils which are made up of copper. Okay, and this is the utensils, cooking utensils, which are prepared from iron, using iron, and this is the aluminium utensils. Okay, and all they are very good conductor of heat, and that's why they are widely used to prepare cooking utensils. That's all for today. Students, I will discuss more about the properties, physical properties of metals and non-metals in our next class. And Assalamu alaikum.